Hello, welcome to Kevlar's Quest, the Modern Life podcast. I'm Kevin Ejezi. Today's quest is why we pretend in relationships and why it matters. Why we pretend in relationships and why it matters. I've realized that some of my thoughts on relationships make people uncomfortable. And I get it because I talk about the stuff most people avoid. There's one rule that seems to apply to every kind of relationship, whether it's work, friendship, family, or romance. We are not supposed to talk about the real deal, the actual exchange happening underneath between two people. This silence creates confusion, especially in romantic relationships, where everything is wrapped in soft language and indirect talk. You don't even like saying sexual relationships. We say romantic relationship, like everyone just holding hands after candlelit dinners. So let's not start with romance. Let's start with something easier, like work. The work that we have. In a job, the exchange is simple. You give your time and effort and you get paid. That's the deal. If that exchange happens, you've got a job. If it doesn't, you don't have a job. Everyone knows this, but we are not supposed to say it out loud. Why? Because it feels awkward. Imagine you're at a job interview and the employer says, "We both know you are here for the money." That would feel weird, right? You'll probably say, "Well, yeah, but I also care about the company's mission." You will try to make it sound deeper. Now flip it. If you walk in and say, "So how much does this job pay?" You might not get the job. You didn't play the game. You didn't pretend. And the executive might not want to think of himself as buying a chunk of your life to boost profits. So we talk about everything else: team building, perks, leadership styles, but not the money. And that's fine until people start believing those extras are more important than the actual exchange. That's when things get messy. We saw this after the pandemic. Companies couldn't figure out why people didn't want to come back to work. But the real question was, what were they paying? Were they offering less money for more effort? That's the part they didn't want to face. Now let's switch gears to dating. The core exchange here is usually sex for resources. That might sound blunt, but it's true. People don't just date randomly. They choose partners who offer something they want: emotional support, financial stability, long-term commitment, whatever it is. If that exchange happens, you've got a romantic relationship. If it doesn't, you don't have a romantic relationship. But again, you're not supposed to say out that loud. It's considered rude or shallow. So we don't talk about love, connection, and shared. So we talk about love, connection, and shared interest instead. Instead of us talking about the blunt things that each other came for. Some may have come for money, some may have come for financial help, some may have come for long-term commitment, some emotional support. But if you just say that out loud, you will seem selfish and rude and shallow. That's the way many people will look at you. Picture this in your mind. A man goes on a date and the woman says, "We both know you're just here for the sex." That will be awkward. He will probably say, "Well, yeah, but I also like your personality. I'm looking for something real." He will try to soften it. Now let's flip it again. If the man says, "So how much?" He's out. He just brings out his wallet and says, "So how much?" He didn't play the game, and the woman might not want to think of herself as trading access to her body for commitment or support. So we all cover it up with talk about love languages, emotional vulnerability, and compatibility. These things, they matter, for sure, but they are not the core of the relationship. Sex and resources are. And when we ignore that core, we end up with bad advice. If the relationship isn't working, we are told to love more or love better. But that doesn't fix the real issue. It's like trying to solve a money problem with a plier. or a scissors. It's a money problem. It needs money, not a plier or scissors. Here's the point. Pretending the core exchange doesn't exist doesn't make it to go away. It just makes us blind to what's really happening. And when we are blind, we make bad decisions. If we want better relationships at work or in love, we need to be honest about what's really going on. That doesn't mean being rude or transactional. It means being clear, respectful, and real. A lot of women say, I don't get it. I'm smart, successful, emotionally available. I've done the work. So why am I still single? It's a fair question, but here is the uncomfortable truth. If the sexual opportunity isn't attractive to the other person, emotional connection might not be enough. Giving men access to more attractive sexual opportunities doesn't fix everything, but it does fix a lot because it speaks to the core transaction. The real reason people come together. And what brings people together isn't always noble or high-minded. It's just reality. When we pretend otherwise, we get confused and disappointed. We try to fix deep relationship problems with surface-level solutions, but we can't fix core problems with fluff and bluffing. We need core solutions. So if your relationship isn't working, ask yourself, what's the actual value exchange here? What are you giving? And what are they getting? Because in almost every case where someone feels unhappy is because they believe they are giving more than they are receiving. And if relationships weren't transactional at some level, why would that even happen? Think about it. Let's be honest about what we are really trading. Okay, that's our quest for today. Please subscribe, like, and share. Someone out there needs to hear this message. Maybe someone like you. Let's spread strength and clarity to those navigating this journey. We'll talk more in future episodes. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening and take care.